Cal here with Classic British Fairs. We're going to be heading down to Antelope Acres, which is a local town from here. It's about 10 minutes. And we're going to be picking up a really cool bike. This is a bike that I ordered a couple months ago. So it's had some delays. So we're actually going to take the van over there. We're going to grab our stand and tie downs and things of that sort. So I'm really excited. It's a pretty big day for me. And I hope you guys can follow along.
Really?
Jimmy on a beat, boy.
All right, so we are on the 138 and we're heading down to Antelope Acres. So with Haul Bikes, they're the motorcycle shipper. They offer a discount if you have a motorcycle delivered to a business address. So we definitely take advantage of that. I think for this one, we probably save maybe like $200 or $300. So theoretically speaking, the semi truck could have delivered at the shop, but it's not considered a business address because it's residential because we have the shop on the property. So anyways, that's why we have decided to go to our certain spot where we usually meet up. And I think I talked about a little bit earlier, Haul Bikes was having some delays, and the bike was supposed to be delivered almost a month ago. Things happen, it is what it is, so we're just happy that they were able to do it at such an affordable price. So yeah, I'm really excited. We were really hoping to get it by the Willow Springs Grand Prix, which was the race that we sponsored over at Willow Springs, but everything happens for a reason. So I got my dad. Want to say something?
Oh, good morning. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to CBS Van Lines. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
You heard him. So, and we got Ruben behind the camera, and Ruben's going to be doing all the filming here today. We'll be having a formal video soon of Ruben introducing himself and part of the team here. So we're definitely happy to have him on board. And so yeah, so we're almost there, and I guess we'll show you more when we get the bike. It looks better in person than it did in the photos. Yeah, that's awesome, man. This is, whew. What do you think, Ruben?
I love it.
Yeah, it's nice, huh?
I don't ride bikes, but I love it.
Man, it sure does look good. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. All the different pieces that are on there. All right, man, what do I got to sign? Perfect, thank you. First one?
Yeah. Oh, nice. You got a ways to go.
Next one. What do you think?
Pretty nice, huh?
It looks better in person, doesn't it?
It sure does. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because the photos, it's kind of like a little dirty or grainy and things of that sort. And but no, it sure does look good. Shoot. All right. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much. Let's get the bike loaded up. We'll take it back to the shop, and then we'll kind of go over all the details. I'll let you guys know some of the history on the bike, and what my plans are and things of that sort. Hopefully, if we have the time, it'd be really cool to be able to get the bike running and maybe take it out for a ride. But yeah, let's load it up and we'll go from there.
Jimmy on a beat, boy.
All right, you guys, so we have the Trident in the workshop here. There's a couple different things I wanted to go over. Number one, I'm not a triples expert, so this is something new to me. This whole venture getting involved with triples is totally new. So it's a Rob North triple, but it's a Winco frame. And I don't know a whole lot about Winco frames. I know that Danny Macias, I believe, built this frame. for a person named John Gallagher. I think he was in the Torrance area. He went by something called Star Biker. Anyways, he had Danny Macias, from what I've been told, if this is correct, I think made about 6 frames. So I don't know how many of the bikes were actually made, but this is one of the frames here. From what I've been told, usually a telltale sign with a Winco frame is the fact that it's actually welded here. Usually a Rob North frame is continuous from the top all the way down to where it loops around. I'm sure there's probably many other things. John Gallagher was an artist, and like again, he was in Torrance, and I believe he wanted to develop a bike which in turn would allow you to have a street legal triple. So if you look at the bike, you would think it's a Rob North triple, but it's actually street legal. And this is exactly what he did. So you have a tail light, you have the headlight, you have all these components that make it look like a road racing triple, but it's street legal. So based off what I've seen in other frames, a buddy of mine named John, he's in New York as well. There's a lot of Johns here. He is a triples expert. He has a Winco frame and he knows more about this than I do. His frame, which would be a sister frame to this one, doesn't have all the pieces on it. So for example, if you look at the side of the fairing here, it doesn't have the proper mount. So whoever put the bike together, I don't think it was John Gallagher, it was someone else. But this is not proper. There should be a welded bung to the frame. There's probably many other pieces that are not correct on it or missing from a typical Winco frame, but just what we have. So my intentions for this bike is actually use it on the track. So I like it. I like how it is, and I think it's cool that it's street legal, but I want to race it on the track. I want to do track days and have a good time. So I essentially want to remove all the street legal parts, which would be the headlight, tail light, speedo tack. I want to remove all that stuff off of it and kind of preserve it in a more traditional type of Rob North triple. So we would have a single tachometer. I would like to get a big Daytona seat for it. So that's just things down the road. The motor itself is stock. This is not a built motor. This is a 71 motor. The original owner did have it titled as a 69. I'm not sure why, but it's definitely a 71 according to the VIN number. There's nothing special about the engine. It's stock. It's not even a 5-speed. It's a 4-speed. But that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted something stock because, as some of you guys know, I like to do machine work and I want to be able to work on it myself. And especially with the new venture getting involved with 3-cylinders, I don't want something that's hopped up and, you know, out of the box, like ready to go. I want something where it's like, you know, I can learn and build upon it. So Ruben, if you want to kind of do a walk around, based off what I see, the forks do look like T140 forks. So these would be stock Triumph 750 forks. Obviously it has dual disc brakes on it. The master cylinder, I think those are they Grameca, I believe, or Lockheed. So I don't think those are factory. It looks like Buchanan's did the wheels. So we have Acron rims and we have modern tires on it. I'm not sure how old the tires are. This is a very unique fairing. I know that John Gallagher, again, wanted to make it a street legal bike, but make it look like a Rob North triple. So actually inside here, you have 2 headlights, and which are really cool. And, you know, later on, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So it's kind of like a silhouette. So you see it as just a fairing, but there's actually 2 square headlights inside there. So it's very cool. I definitely admire all the work that he did put into it to try to make it look like a triple, retain all that coolness to it, but also make it street legal. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look at the gauges. So we have your traditional blackface Smith's speedo and tachometer. You have your oil pressure gauge there, and then you have a little amp meter right there. So obviously all that stuff I would like to remove. Now some of you guys might say, well, why would you want to do that? And it's just like, well, it's a track bike. You know, these bikes were not street legal. It was not intended for that. Obviously it would probably be very uncomfortable. So I want to make it a track bike. It does have a steering damper on the bike, which is right here. You know, that's something that's aftermarket that's been added onto it. I don't know who made it, but anyways, it's on the bike. This is a gas tank here. I believe the gas tank, the fairing, and the tail section were molded off of original, you know, factory components. You know, that would have been in the 70s, so it's pretty cool. We have the oil tank here, which is the central aluminum tank. I'm going to assume Danny Macias probably made that oil tank too. It doesn't look like it has the traditional weld marks and things of that sort. That would make it a legitimate factory piece, but that's okay. You know, I'm not looking for all that. We just want to make sure that, you know, the bike's together, it looks good, it looks like a triple, because so many people love that style of 3-cylinder, you know, when Rob North developed this frame and all the other stuff that kind of go along with it. It's got the square swing arm. I believe Danny Macias went ahead and did that as well. It does have a conical drum brake on the rear, which I believe is just a factory Triumph drum with a, you know, drilled holes in the sprocket. Interesting rear sets he's got going on here. Obviously it's brake cable operated. So we'll have to check through all that stuff. It's got a horn on it. That's going to come off. I think these brackets here are probably for where the master cylinder would be if you were running a rear disc brake. Let's see, going over to the motor, or going back to the motor, I should say. So stock 4-speed, 750. The previous owner told me that he looked inside the spark plug holes and the pistons look clean, but he says it's just like standard compression. So there's nothing fancy about the motor at all. It's just a stock Trident motor, which is good enough for me because I'm coming up from a 350 twin. So anything would be better. Another thing is the triple trees. These are, I believe Danny Macias probably put those together too, welded them up and fabricated. So those are, you know, more the traditional Rob North type top and bottom triple tree. Got the Grimeca master cylinder there. We have your clutch lever here. You have your high and low beam. You have the horn button and dipper and things of that sort. There is a turn signal here, but there's no turn signals on the bike. And you know, another thing too, which I just thought about, there's the reason why it's probably titled as a 69 is because in 1971, Triumph had turn signals on their bike. So if this bike was titled as a 71, it probably would have to have turn signals on it. But if it's titled as a 69, it doesn't. So I just thought about that. So that's probably why it's titled as a 69. Because obviously if you have turn signals on a bike like this, it's going to kind of kill the look. So whoever was putting it together, they probably knew like, hey, let's remove the turn signals. Moving back over here to the opposite side, the timing side, we have the coil pack here. There's 3 coils there. There is a Boyer Mark III ignition, so it's much older, which is totally fine because I think the bike was probably built in the late 90s, early 2000s, or at least the title show in 2000, at least, you know, going back to the paperwork. There is a Kickstarter here, so we're going to remove that lever. Obviously, you see it's been fouling here. You know, whoever's been starting the bike. It's got some pretty interesting rear sets on here. I think these are adjustable. So it's got a muffler on there. It's got a baffle in it, so you can remove that, which if we start the bike, we're definitely gonna be doing that because the sound of a triple is just absolutely glorious. So we'll remove that and then remove the cone. And I think that's pretty much it. I know there's a lot of other things that I'm probably missing, but you know, for you guys that are interested in this and watching it, that's pretty much what we got. So I'm going to take off the gas tank and then we're going to do some basic visual checks. The person that I bought this motorcycle from, he ran a motorcycle shop. He owns a lot of bikes. He is very well versed and very well mechanically inclined. When I bought the bike from the auction, which was from Iconic Motorbikes, if you guys were interested on that, the bike was running. It was shown in the video that it was running, had great oil pressure, it sounded really good. So the person I bought the bike from has went over everything. He's like, the bike runs, everything's cool. So he actually drained the gas out of the tank and there's no gas in the carburetors and he disconnected the battery. So theoretically speaking, all I have to do is hook the wires up, put gas in it and start it, and that's pretty much it. Now that's just to get the bike running for you guys. When I'm going to put this bike on the track, I do plan on, and hopefully might be doing another video depending on time, what we got going on, is I would like to do a compression test. I would like to check or do a leak down test. So that way we can actually verify that the top end is in good shape so we don't have to pull, you know, the head and barrel off and do a top end job. So going off the video from what I saw, the oil pressure is good, at least cold. So we'll check how it is when it gets hot. The motor sounded really nice. So it's very possible that this bike, just how it is, would be a very good track bike. But there are some things that we are going to go over just to make sure. There is fresh oil inside the oil tank, so everything's good with that. No gas in the tank because it's not sealed. So we'll pull the tank off, we'll put an auxiliary fuel tank, and then I'm not gonna kickstart the bike. I'm gonna actually use my, my starter that drives off the rear wheel, and then we'll start the motorcycle from there. One thing that I want to show you guys is the lighting before we move forward. And so this bike does run on battery ignition, so it would be DC, so it does rely on the battery itself. And you can come over here and see the type of battery that he has. It's a very small battery. You can barely see it. Very, very small. So as far as using it for the track, I'm sure this would probably be fine. It would be cool maybe to do something batteryless. But again, triples are new to me. I don't know much about them, but I will. I'm sure I'll probably find out very quick. There it is. So as you can see, obviously you got 2 headlights here, but when you turn it off, it doesn't even look like you have a headlight. So it's very cool, and you got a high and low beam. So it is gonna be a shame removing all this stuff because I do admire the time and effort that went into it. But again, my thing is Rob North triples belong on a track, not on the street. You can see this seat is very wide. It is not the most comfortable seat, and you probably don't want to be touring on this bike, you know, running up and down the freeway and things of that sort. So but I guess to each their own. So that is the bike. This is the triple. This is a Winco Triumph Trident. As far as the fairing goes, it doesn't have the proper ducts for it. It doesn't even look like it's been cut out. I do know that all the fiberglass has been repainted. I do have original photos from 2000 of when the bike appeared to be built, or during that era, and this has been repainted. And whoever did it did a great job. It looks really nice. I don't mind replicas because obviously some people can have the real thing, so you build a replica, which is totally fine. I just don't like all the stickers on here. This is not Romero's bike. It never was. However, I will say, based off research and what I have found, that Gene Romero did ride this bike once. I think there was something happening in Marina del Rey. It was like an event, or I can't remember what it is, but I have found documentation that Gene Romero might have paraded this bike maybe around the track 1 or 2 laps, but that's something that I found online. Another thing is Gene Romero did sign this right here, so that is his signature. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, we would like to preserve that. And then the tail section, Danny Macias also signed right here. And I do have a photo of Danny Macias actually signing this tail section. Now, this has been repainted, so I don't know if that's really his signature now. It's probably long gone, but whoever did it probably took photos and just kind of recreated that. And that might even be the same for Gene Romero's. So these are all stickers. This is a sticker here. This will come off. All this will come off probably except that. I would like to put the proper fairing on that has the proper ducts for the oil cooler. So, you know, maybe down the road, remove the forks, put the proper forks that should be on there, maybe go with the disc brake. So I'm talking about, you know, maybe years, months, who knows. My biggest thing is to get the bike running, get it ready for the track, get more riding time, you know, more riding experience, and enjoy the bike for what it is. I am going to, actually, you know, I'm going to pull the tank off right now. I should be able to do this myself. So a lot of this stuff is already pretty loose. It's just a simple strap that holds it in place. Obviously, it's not very tight. The person I bought the bike from, Mr. Al, he went ahead and did all this stuff before me. So the gas line has already been disconnected, so I'm going to remove the tank. I'm going to be very, very careful, and then I'm going to set it on the floor. There we go. It's getting caught on the petcock. All right, so you can clearly see, in fact, let's turn off the lights here. There we go. So you can see the top of the engine. As you guys are aware, it's a race bike. So accessibility is really, really important, and I just really like this design because you guys that have worked on Tridents before, it's very complicated. You typically have a frame, you know, the backbone of the frame from the headstock is usually blocking all this stuff. So you literally just pull the tank off with the strap here, disconnect the hose from the petcock, and then you have accessibility to everything. So you have your carburetors there, you have your rocker box here, the intake and the exhaust. You even have your spark plugs here, so if you want to do a spark plug check, it's extremely versatile, and it's very, very convenient, especially when you're racing. Something happens, you need to be able to point to it and get to it without having to take a lot of stuff apart. With it being a stock motor, there's really nothing fancy here other than some velocity stacks. So you got velocity stacks, sewn epoxy screens. These will be replaced. It's a hazard. If the epoxy breaks, bonds, whatever, the bonds break, then it could go into the carburetor. So we're going to replace that. I think these are 626s or 27 millimeters. Again, I'm not exactly sure. Here's the Boyer Mark III there with the coils. You get a better view. This is the front strap for the gas tank. And this one has a titanium regulator. We used to sell a lot of these, but I think we actually discontinued them. So I'm sure it probably works just fine. And the oil tank cap, just got a simple Monza cap. And it's got some fresh oil in there. So, but yeah, just to start it, we should be able to put some gas in it and literally just start it. Later on, we'll do a leak down, compression, like I explained earlier, adjust the valves, timing, and get all that stuff sorted out. Also, check the carburetors and make sure that they're synchronized and all the slides are raising and lowering at the same time. It's been sitting here for a couple hours. There's no oil leaks underneath. It's pretty clean, little residue, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. I don't know the history on the engine. I don't know if it was ever rebuilt. The top end has been off. I could tell by the base gasket, there's some silicone there. No big deal. Whoever built this bike would probably want to select an engine that would be reliable because you're using it on the street. So if you're going to be riding a bike on the street, you want it reliable. So I'm going to assume that that's probably why they chose to use a stock T150 engine, which is great for me because I'm starting at the bottom and I can kind of piece it all together. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to get my auxiliary tank. We're going to put some gas in the carburetors, turn the ignition on, and I'm actually going to remove the baffle. I mean, if you guys haven't heard the sound of a triple, it's amazing. It really is. I mean, it's an absolutely glorious sound. It's just, there's no other sound like a 3-cylinder, whether it's a triple, you know, or A75 BSA, they sound amazing. So I'm gonna remove that bolt and let you guys hear it. I guess that's it. So let me get all my stuff ready. We'll get all of our tools and put some gas in it, and we'll fire this thing up.
Where's the key?
We'll have
If it won't run on that, it won't run on there.
a little bit.
Where's the fire extinguisher?
That's not very positive. Yeah, there we go. Right here.
I bet it sounds nice.
See, one thing about 3 cylinders is there's like three pistons, 3 rods, 3 carburetors, 3 problems. You got 3 of everything. My goodness. Alrighty, so we have fuel, got power. I'm going to assume that we have spark. So let's give it a shot. Okay. Click it. One more time. It even idles. Not bad. So obviously it's idling, you guys. You can see the oil pressure here. It is still cold. I don't know what the viscosity that he's got in here. But it's got good oil flow. You come over here, you can see inside that hole. Oh, way better. I love it. It's amazing. Dude, this, wow. And the crazy part about it, I can feel the heat resonating from there, is it idles. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, yeah, I don't have anything bad to say. It's like, it runs, it idles, it sounds amazing. It really does.
Now let's do some wheelies on it.
Do some wheelies? So yeah, there's obviously, there's some checks that we have to do. Like I was saying, check compression, leak down, seal the gas tank. That gas tank hasn't been sealed, but I don't think this bike was used very much, so it probably hasn't seen too much gas. It hasn't damaged anything, so we'll Caswell it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to say anything you want to say?
Can't wait to ride it.
There's an age limit.
There's an 8.
I'm sorry.
Funny.
This is fine. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah, cool. Well,
Let's put a plate on it and take it down the road.
you said put a plate on it?
A license plate on it, go for a ride.
You really want to take it out, huh? I'm really excited. I would love to do that, but it's like,
Let's see if the highway patrol can keep up.
knowing my luck, I'm sure they probably could. Wanted to say thank you to Iconic Motorbikes. They're the ones that actually listed this bike on they're the hosts on the auction. But the guy that I bought it from, his name was Al. And I also want to say thank you to him because he was very, very gracious, very helpful, and he gave me all the information that I needed. In fact, I spoke with him earlier today to let him know that I got the bike. So he's very transparent, told me everything that I need to know about the bike. It runs, this, that, and everything else. So you guys say anything else? That's it?
That's it.
That's all, folks.
Now you're happy.
I'm happy. Now I can sleep at night. And also thanks to Haul Bikes, being able to ship the bike out and get it here all in one piece. So everything is all good with that. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. There definitely will be some track days on this bike. There will be different footage. This is going to be a new venture for me, getting involved with the 3-cylinder. So I hope you guys can be part of that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys like content like this, we got a lot of other stuff going on. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, our Instagram, and also some of our other YouTube videos. And I guess for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.